Back, and we're so excited to see you guys again. We've been off for like 2 weeks or something, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2-3 weeks.
2-3 weeks. Why? What have we been doing?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
That is the
Dun,
question,
dun.
actually. Yeah.
So we have been at something we call Summer of Missions, which is this year is our 8th year doing summer missions. Actually,
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously the one during COVID was not so full on summer missions, but hey. Anyway, so you might be like, what are you talking about? What is summer missions? I have no clue what that means. And basically we take 12 days out on the beach to evangelize to people, to do drum lines and dramas and stilt walking and free hugs and sports and kids things. But before that, we take some time to worship and to prepare things and to get connected with God in a new way. So it's generally all of our people from YWAM Urban Key Harlesden base. And then we have people joining us. So last year, for example, we had a massive group of Argentines who came. This year we had, I think, like 20 people from outside.
Something like that, yeah.
20, 25.
Yeah, about that.
From all over Europe and the States and all over. So I think it was amazing.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add about what is summer missions?
Yeah, it's like an opportunity for people to kind of jump in to experience and get a taste of what missions can be like, especially local mission as well. Like the opportunity to, because we go down south in the UK, Bournemouth, which is like prime summer location for a staycation. But it's also really like just very approachable, and you know, it's not like really going so far necessarily. For some people who are coming from really far, it is, but just kind of trying to unite the two, this aspect of going and doing evangelism with creative means and in different ways, but at the same time also blessing the local church, because we stay in a church, and St. Andrew's is our home church during those days, and we also want to be a part of that family. We feel like we're a part of that family,
for sure.
so we bless the community there, and we spend time there. And so for anyone and everybody who's come the last few years, it's like a taster of what long-term missions could be like, but also a time in the summer where you can also have fun with your friends as you're also serving God. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, it's like camping style, England style anyway. Like I always grew up going to camp in the summer, so it's funny like the difference of things, but like, because obviously you're at a beach, you know, so it's like, and it's just very different. I grew up going to camps that are like in the middle of nowhere, you know, but this is like,
did you have a lake or something?
Yeah, it was like right on a lake, and you would like go skiing or tubing or whatever. Yeah, like water skiing or like I didn't do that. I was not capable to do that. But it is camping in the way that you're like sleeping on an air mattress, and it's really fun, and I love that part. It's fun.
Nice. Well, what do you guys think? Like, okay, so basically the point of this episode today is to talk about how was our time in summer missions. It's like a little debrief, you know? So that's kind of why we keep on talking about summer missions. I realized I didn't introduce that in the beginning. Sorry about that. But yeah, we wanted to just do a debrief, sharing some of the highs and the exciting things that kind of went on. Really, I think to give God thanks for what he did more than anything. So yeah, what was kind of one of your favorite parts of summer missions this year? Was there any part that stood out to you?
I think always my favorite one is when we do worship at the beach. Like for some reason, it's something that is not like you're attracting people to like evangelize. It just happens because they're like, what are they doing? Like, where is a group of people around like someone playing the guitar and like singing? And why there's so many people with their hands up and they come and ask. And I think that's always my favorite because it's like our like lifestyle, you know, like you don't have to like go and do a dance and attract people. It's just the presence of God, you know, and it's also the ocean and like the vibes and all of that. I really like it. I think it's always my favorite. I'm always like, yes, God. More.
So true.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this the other day because I think there's so many fun things in summer missions that we get to do, like worship, like face painting, like 1,000 kids and countless.
Lord.
So there are so many things that I really do like from summer missions. But this year, something that really stood out to me was just kind of seeing like before and after, you know, like we all get to work with DTS and we're all with DTS and we kind of see that long process of like especially relationships, or seeing people like, I don't know, really be transformed by something that God spoke to them in the course of 5 months.
Right.
But in summer missions, that happens so quick because it's only 12 days. Well, this year was the first year that we did 12 days. Normally it's 10. But in 10 days, like, you get all these people who like come and maybe they have a completely different expectation, and then suddenly like towards the end it's like they're completely different. Like the last few years we've had a lot of family members who've come. What happened?
I'm so sorry. I've been trying to hold it. It's like literally not that funny at all. It was just that before we started the podcast, I'm so sorry. Before we started recording, I was talking about how summer missions, I didn't realize that it was 12 days.
Well, this makes this
I
episode
think we're all a little bit tired, but that's it. That's literally it. Then you said like, oh, it was 12 days this year, not 10 days. So then I looked at Maddie and was like, oh, remember when I said that? Haha. But then for some reason I couldn't stop laughing.
I was like,
oh my god!
And I think we all thought we got over it. And then you looked at one of us and was like, whoa!
But I had no idea that was going on.
I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. It's totally fine.
Really, also
We're
not
keeping
that
it
funny.
unfiltered.
There's nothing funny to it.
Well, I hope you're finding this funny for sure, because
Poor viewers.
anyways. So in these 12 days this time,
Yes, 12
that
days.
in the past it
Not
has been 10.
yes.
Yeah. That's what was confusion. It's just really crazy and really radical to see like that big change. This year we had a lot of family members come. Every year we have at least 1 or 2 family members come, and it's always really fun to get to meet those people. But also this year we just had a variety of younger kids, some people who came last year, or newcomers, whatever. But it's always so crazy to see how at the beginning everybody's like so shy and like also feels like they don't really fit in, and then at the end it's like really, really hard to leave.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, like looking at those transformations, it's like really, really cool, you know. And this year we saw a lot of those people as well, like commit their lives even deeper with God. And like every year we have baptisms, but I don't know, this year also like the commitments that people made, just like it just really hit home for me. I don't know. So for me it's like seeing people's faces change from the beginning to the end is really cool.
Yeah, I think kind of similar to what you're both saying, like, and you just mentioned it, baptisms for me are always so special at summer missions. Kind of similar to what you were saying, actually, about like how it's something that we do on the beach, and it's not necessarily like a time for evangelism. Like we're not doing it to like, I don't know, draw a crowd or something like we do with the drumming or the dancing and stuff. But at the same time, it always like, it is really cool to see people watching and being like, what is going on? Like, what are these people doing? Like, why are you doing that? You know, like, why do you do that as Christians, you know? So I feel like those little moments actually, of course, like the drumming and dancing and all that stuff is so fun. Like I love it. But I think those like little special moments are also really cool to see how God uses like just our regular lives to like,
yeah, even this year with the baptisms, like there was a mum who like just kind of stopped by, and she was a Christian, but she was really like impacted by us. And I don't know if she was having a good day or whatever, but like she approached Maddie, and then there was a connection and stuff. And
oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And she was like really like I think in a sense like kind of became undone, and like in a moment that perhaps she wasn't like thinking, oh, this is such a supernatural moment, I'm in the beach, you know, like having fun with my daughters, but like actually she was like encountered people of faith, and that ignited something even in her faith, and like it refreshed her more than what the waves did.
She actually got really emotional, and she said it's just amazing to think that like no matter where you go, there's Christian people or people like from the kingdom who are always around you. So actually you're never alone. Like we're never really alone. She got really emotional. And so I don't know what she's facing, but it was really like, it was powerful to see we're just doing something that's a part of our camp. Not that baptisms are normal. They're so powerful, but to do it publicly and to see people watching or like wanting to be involved, you know? Also, I don't know if you guys heard, but we did the baptisms, and there was a lady who was like swimming on the side, and I was praying, and I was like, Lord, come on, let her join us. Like,
I remember we were we were like swimming, and all of a sudden Maddie's like, there's a woman on the shore, we need to pray for her. Jesus, I just pray for them. Literally while we're all swimming, like, Maddie, and Maddie's like, Lord, I just pray for this woman. I just pray for her right now.
I was contending for her soul, okay?
No, it was great. It was just like really funny.
It was the only way to stay warm in the water as well. I guess Josello spoke with her after. And she had a daughter who was older, like maybe our age or something, and then one daughter who was also disabled. And so she was like, what are you guys doing? My brother does this actually, or something like that. And so they were chatting, and then she said, like, I guess, like, I just don't understand why God would give me a disabled daughter. And Josello was like, oof, you know? And he was like, I don't know why God, like, allows the things that he does or whatever. He's like, I don't know why God allowed my brother-in-law to die. I don't know why God allowed my mom to die, like different things like that, you know? And he said, but all I know is that God knows best. And I don't even really know how the conversation went, but I guess the woman was like, wow, you gave me a totally different perspective. Wow. And I think I'm going to see God in a whole new way. It was like, come on, you know, we're just here swimming on the beach. Like, God is so good, you know? Yeah. So I think it's amazing. And I think that's what my favorite part of summer missions is this last year and in general, is to see how possible transformation is, you know, like not only I come one way and I leave another way necessarily, but how God can bring this little like flick of the heart and it like flips something that begins like a whole journey, you know? Like I look at even my brother or Nolani's brother or Luis's brother, these are all like family members, you know, who have come to summer missions in different years and had these like touches from God, you know? And it wasn't just like, oh, a nice touch. It really triggered something bigger than that. And I think that's what's so beautiful. It's not because of the program that we run. It's just because, I guess like we talked about in the last episode, like when we show up available, God's able to do whatever he wants. So I think it was amazing this year. It was a great time.
It was amazing.
But then speaking of missions, I think, Julie, you were talking about like in the beginning, summer missions, the whole idea is that it's like a taster of missions and whatever. Like, do you think short-term missions are important? How do we see missions as a whole?
Well, now we got into the nitty-gritty stuff.
Here's your controversial topic.
Unfiltered.
Super. I think that's one thing that I've always kind of struggled with. We kind of talked a little bit about this in the last episode of Christian events and stuff. Sometimes, you know, these moments are really important for people who perhaps like are struggling their faith. It kind of also like even in us who we're living in this life of missions, like summer missions, we can all say it's so refreshing and it's a moment that we look forward to throughout the year because we have so many fun stories and whatever. But at the same time, many times it happens that you go and it's like the hype of that moment or what we did then, and either we try to recreate that somewhere else or because we don't have the same means or the same tools to do that, then we refrain from that and we don't really want to do that again, or like it just doesn't work. And so we don't carry that out. But then on top of that as well, the places that we go to, like in this case Bournemouth or St. Andrews and the church, and you know, like it just ends up being this place that we go to that one time a year and we do that one thing, you know, and that's it. So for us, I know that as a team we've tried really hard to continue to be connected with the church and continue to be connected in Bournemouth and go and be present and throughout the year, because we also don't want it to be about that one time, because it's really difficult when you go and you do like short-term missions in a place and you know there's always that sort of savior complex, right, of like wanting to go and do something and like, you know, come and bring that ignition, you know, but then like what happens in that continuity. It's so important to have people prepared for that. So I think it is necessary, but especially for those, just like we were talking last time with events, it's so important for those of us who are carrying to also carry well beyond and before, you know, that's something also that this year, like, we also kind of really struggled with, because we had, as a ministry, we had so many things happening beforehand. So it felt like actually summer missions kind of like dawned up on us, and we were like, oh, we're here, honestly. You know, and we didn't really prepare and stuff. And I feel like even in many ways, like, we probably didn't prepare the land and our hearts in different ways, and to the capacity that I know that we can. And God still used it, you know, like, God was still merciful, and it was still great. But I think it's always like a reminder, and it keeps us humble to also think, okay, we can't just do things out of repetition. Also, like, bring a freshness and like be sensitive to what's going on as well. This year in the UK, this summer especially, there's been a lot of uproar in a sense. And it meant that during the time that we were in Bournemouth especially, we had to like be very aware and alert that there could be like protests and things, you know. But it meant that we were actually very sensitive to what was going on, you know, and I think it brought a lot of holy moments, you know. And so I think it's always really important to just be aware of the Holy Spirit at all times, so that we can be relevant and we are not like, you know. So I'm not, you know, going to the controversy side of things, I'm not against it, but I do think that it's something that we need to be careful with, and it's something that we need to steward well, because I see how impactful it is for some of the young kids that we had this year, for example, our minors. Like, it really ignited their faith, you know. So I see that that's a necessity, but I also don't want to be blind to the fact that that could also be something that is just then and there, you know.
Yeah, I think that, like, kind of going off of what you're saying as well, it's like something that makes me really grateful for St. Andrew's, actually. Like, they really, and huge shout out to them, like, where I'm so grateful for how they like really open their doors to us 100%. And like allow us also to like be a part of the things that they do. Like, we, of course, we go there for 12 days. And it's just those 12 days, you know. But at the same time, like, I always feel like, and you mentioned it at the beginning too, like, I always do feel like I'm going back home in some ways when I go there. And I think that that's like not only like a gift from God, but also like that's something that they foster, you know. And I think like that's something that's I'm really grateful for, is how they open their arms, their everything to us, like their whole church. We all sleep on the floor and like take up all of their space, you know, in the middle of them renovating their entire church.
We were the first ones to use the building.
Literally, like that's so like hospitable, so generous, you know. But like kind of going along with your point, I think it like really makes me grateful that like we can go and work with a church that's there all year round. You know, they know this place and they know those people and they know what they need. And like, I think also keeping communication there like is really key, like to be like, okay guys, what do you see? You know, we see this when we come, but what about all the rest of the time of the year, you know, like what do you guys see like this place needs, or what do you think God has been speaking, like what has God been speaking to you this whole year, you know? And we come and like do our part for the time that we're there, but like to really kind of partner with them, I think is something that I'm really grateful for, and for how open they are to us. Like 100%. That's such a blessing, you know.
They really don't have like, this is our thing and that's your thing. Like for them everything is our thing together, and that I think was even special this year to do the evangelism in the park and things like that, where we stepped into like one of their activities, because always we have our activities and they're like ready to catch the people who maybe get saved and need a church or whatever, you know. And it's such a good picture of how the body is supposed to work together, you know. It's really beautiful.
It feels nice that we can also be part, as you were saying, in the park when we did evangelism with them, because it was like not us like coming with the fun stuff, but they came and they were like, no, we want to be part of this and like like help you to help us. It was like, what? Like, we're helping you, but you're helping us. So it's like both ways. And it's like so beautiful how, like, as you were saying, like the church is united because it's outside of the building itself, you know, like how we can bring that together, and how we can, it's not just YWAM or like how amazing we can do things or all that, because it's not about us at the end of the day. Like, we keep saying this, but when we see it, it's like, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. And see so many families also so hungry, you know, like not just like like the kids, oh yeah, it's fun, no, but like the mom and the dad, like, I want to know more about this. It's like, wow, like I think that's beautiful that we can give something, but also there's a body that stays behind to like take care of it. You know, I think when we do like short missions and like we go to a place, okay, there's revival here, but then we leave and there's no one to stay there to like stay in the like field, I guess, to like keep helping, because like if you see something, it's not gonna go anywhere if there's no one like there, you know, and I think it's beautiful that we can go to places and live, like go with a church or go with an organization or go with Christians, and like we'll take what like we can bring, you know. The same if other teams wants to come here, like they will bring something and like bring the Bible or whatever, but we'll stay here behind, like because we love the city, you know. I think that's like what unites us. Thank you.
Unite us.
Unfiltered. Don't know English apparently.
No, it's so true though. Like we need the partnership. We need it. Like I don't think short-term missions are bad. I know that there's a lot of people who have like something to say about them. But I don't think that they're bad. I think we always need to be obedient to God. I can even look at Paul in the Bible, and he did a lot of short-term missions. Yeah. So if it's ungodly to do them, it's like, But I also think it's so important to be connected and to build partnership. I think something that I thought was quite interesting in when we were in Bournemouth, we were praying one day, and I did some like history research about Bournemouth, and apparently it used to be a place that people would go if they had lung infections in order to like be able to breathe properly. And like it was a place of like fresh air and peace, and like a place for people to, like I said, breathe and enjoy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. I'm trying so hard, but I don't know what's happening.
I texted it to you myself. Yeah.
I'm so sorry for everybody who is watching. We're just checking because this is unfiltered at the end of the day. And you know, we're doing things and we're making them be the best as possible. But I'm worried that the recording has stopped. So we are checking behind the scenes.
With our tech guy.
We have a tech girl who's checking through things. Yeah. And so I'm sorry, Maddie.
No,
I didn't
it's
mean
fine.
to distract you.
I really tried so hard to keep going.
Yeah. Okay, cool. It's recording. Yeah. It's still recording. We're good. Everything's fine.
I tried so hard, but Flo also was like, "I'm here.
Yeah. I got you."
And you guys were doing great, but at the end of the day, I was like, I have no idea what I'm saying anymore.
It's okay.
The point that I was trying to make was that, like, historically, Bournemouth was known as a place of like healing and breathing freely, you know. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. The way, I don't know, God has brought us or others in the area to bring that spiritually, you know, a place of healing and a place of like breathing naturally. So I think there's an element that short-term missions are like can be a challenging thing when people just drop in and do something and then leave. But at the same time, I think spiritually, historically, there's things going on in places that we can actually connect to and bring life to and pray into and things like that, beyond just, oh, I'm going to go see this person saved and then leave them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think it's a twofold, to be honest.
And I think consistency is also what's important. I think short-term mission can be great and it's necessary. But the fact that we have continued to go for the last 8 years, even that year during the pandemic when you know, the world was literally at a standstill, we took a small team because we really felt from God that we needed to go and be present, and we went and we prayed and we interceded, we did worship. We perhaps didn't work in the same way, but it was all about, you know, like sowing something in the spiritual realm, you know. And I can, because I've been there since the first year, I can really attest and say that not just in the spiritual, but also in our relationships and the connections across the churches as well in Bournemouth. Since we started up until now, it's grown and it's so big and it's completely different. So I can really see that God is really working and God is using us. And when we're going, we're not just, again, doing our own thing or just joining St. Andrews only or just focusing on the summer missions, but we really are trying to see the bigger picture and so with God and actually partner with God in his heart for Bournemouth. So yes, it's a short-term mission, but our mission in general, it's not short-term, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
Makes sense. Well, I think obviously some of our episodes are longer, some are not as long, but is there anything you guys want to say to wrap up this episode on Summer Missions 2024?
Wow.
well, please come and join us next year.
It was hallelujah.
Very nice and exciting. Also to have people from outside. As we said at the beginning, having like 25 people coming from outside is so refreshing. Also for us, because some people were touched from the day one, and I was like, day one is all about like paperwork and getting yourself like get ready for bed and all of that. But those people were ready since day one to like be in community and having friends, having worship. They were just so hungry, and I was like, I want that, you know, like. I don't know. It's beautiful to, like, as we said last year, we had this whole team of Argentinians coming. They brought the whole like another flavor, you know. And this year, and this year it was another flavor as well. And I'm pretty sure next year will be another flavor. Because God has prepared something different for each year. But I think it's beautiful to have like people joining from outside, because actually you bless us more than what we can bless you. To be honest, like. I don't know, we had this girl that like she came all the way from the States, and she was like just so happy to be there, like completely. And I was like, oh, and I come here every year. You know, like it's such a blessing and a privilege that I don't think I realized until like other people say, I'm like, I've been waiting so long for this. And I'm like, wow, I have it every single day. You know, I have community. I have like a church every single day. I have friends that I can go to every single day. And there's people that don't have it, and they experience it for the first time here. And I'm like, wow, you know, it's so like beautiful that anyone comes, so please come and join us. We want to meet you.
I think kind of similar to that, like as much as summer missions is for sure, like it is missions, you know, that's like the goal, and also like our heart to like bring that to Bournemouth. It's also a lot of receiving, you know, like I receive so much every year, you know. We have like worship times, and like there's a lot of like that community that you can find. So I guess like in case you're looking for like a short-term missions trip, like please come and join us. We want you to come. But also like it's such a time to also receive, you know. It's not only to like go out or like to learn how to dance or something. Of course it's that's fun, and like we love it, you know. But I think also to in case you're looking for like a place to also receive and then give out, like that, this is your opportunity, you know. Yeah,
true.
I don't know. I don't know if I can add anything else to that, but I would say for anybody who has done summer missions before, if you have any new ideas or anything that you'd like to see afresh, you know, I think also we've had in our heart to do a summer missions abroad at some point, you know. It's the only activity that we do as a whole base. We literally shut down the base. We shut down the cafe for 3 weeks, and people actually went a little bit crazy. They were like, why did you leave? But it's something that we want to do all together, because we really like, you know, want to be united in one mission together. But why not go somewhere else, or why not have another thing happen, you know? So I maybe come next year, but maybe call us out, and maybe we can go and do some summer mission somewhere else, you know.
Why not?
Spain.
Not a bad shout.
It's
Spain, España, France. I mean, I know the Olympics was this year, but you know, next year the Olympics lives on.
That's true.
So anyways, that'd be what I say.
Yeah, it's true. No, summer missions is such a good time, and it's it always comes around fast. I think every year we're shocked by it, but every year there's something that we can take away from it, and that's really beautiful. I don't know, I'm always really like shocked and also like in awe of how generous God is with us, you know, to keep on giving us, not only in summer missions but all the time. And I feel like you were saying, it's such a time to receive. And this year was a little bit different for me, but I still was able to receive something really beautiful. So it's such a good time. So we do hope to see you there next year. You're so more than welcome. We shout for you to come, because like Flo said, it's such a refreshing time when it's not just us. Our people are refreshing too, but also I loved this year the element of like the family reunion, you know, like having all the siblings, and also having Kim and others that I don't know if they would be happy that I say their names. So others who have come before, and it just felt so familial, you know. There's something really sweet about that. So come join our family, come join summer missions. We'd love to have you. We pray the weather stays nice.
This year was great. Hopefully you can tell. We're feeling the summer vibes.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, no, but it was really great. Also, one thing we forgot to say Well, not one thing. There's so many things that we probably didn't say. But this year we saw quite a few salvations as well, which was huge too. You know, so yeah, I think God's still moving, and there's still more things to come for sure. And kind of like what you mentioned as well, there's a lot more openness. And real conversations, you know, and also with a lot of young people too. There's really a lot of young people that are really desperate. So if you're a young person also, and you've got a heart for young people, come to Summer Missions.
I think there was a lot of like answered prayers, like people praying on the way to evangelism, like, God, I really want to see salvation today, and then it happening, you know, or God, I really want to see a healing, and then seeing it. And I think that was really special because it's a gift for the person receiving healing or salvation or whatever thing, but it's also a gift for the one who asked for that, you know, and like,
it's
oh
so
wow,
true.
God, you heard me, you know? And Bournemouth is also like such a beautiful city, full of like tourism and the beach and everything, but it also has a lot of its own enemies. And this year we were like in the middle of a fight, like in an intercession time during a fight. And it was like, wow, God, I am so thankful that you allow us to be in these places, you know, like to be in this moment, not only doing a drum line, but also it just happens to be that we are doing intercession on a beach when like a massive fight breaks out. Like, I don't know. God has such a strategy. We get to be a part of that, you know? So it's very special.
In a good way. Be a part of it, like by praying and bringing kingdom, right?
I'm pretty sure the audience got that.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, you know.
Throw some punches.
Spiritual
Glad
punches.
we were there.
We weren't just there to like watch it happen. Go! Can you imagine?
Placing bets.
Imagine. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for joining us again. We're now kicking off to be every week. No? Is that right?
Yeah.
every week. Guys, I'm going to be super honest right now. For those who can see me or hear the sound of my voice, please send us topics because it gets hard, you know, to think of topics every week. So we really need your help. Let us know what like you think would be a good topic to talk about. Of course, we have some ideas up our sleeve, but it's always helpful to hear not only what you want to hear, but also what could be fun for us to talk about. Like, I mean, if anything, do us a favor.
Something that we can all vibe with. Because sometimes, you know, I have an idea, but nobody's feeling my ideas.
The thing is Julie likes controversial conversations. She wants to fight. Hence the
It's not that I want to fight, but, you know, I don't necessarily always want to talk about the same things you guys want to talk about. But it's fine. As long as you give us conversation topics that we can all vibe from, you know, we're here for it.
Yeah.
No pressure, though. No pressure, guys. So, yeah, anyway.
I said, please message us.
Yeah, honestly.
That was probably so creepy.
Yeah. Sorry if you had to hear that.
Okay, we're going to end this. Guys, we love you. We bless you. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.